because you like it, right? What's the point of win any race, things that motivate you? As stupid as it sounds, improve my hearing loss and good for my skin. The purpose of this channel, really understand, but somehow I need something that's more profound. So you've been running for a while, perhaps a couple of years, or perhaps you're thinking about starting to run, you're enjoying it so far. And then comes a moment when you think, okay, what am I actually running? And the first answer seems to be easy, is just because you like it, right? In fact, what's the point of asking yourself why you run as long as you run? But believe me, a moment will come when you will ask yourself this question, and it is important. Because like everything else, of course, at the beginning, it's new, you're discovering a new sport, you're making progress, it's all fun, you're meeting new people, you're learning. After a couple of years, you've experienced enough of the sports to grasp what it's about. You made some progress, but perhaps your progress is starting to stagnate a little bit, starting to realize that you need to train a lot. You're realizing that probably you're just an average or a mediocre runner like me. You're not gonna win any race or get any prize or anything like that. And then you start thinking, okay, do I like that enough to continue running for perhaps the rest of my life, or at least for quite a few more years? Am I ready to spend the time to run like 3-4 times, 5, 6, 7 times a week? Perhaps go to the gym, take care of my nutrition and all the things it takes. Am I ready to do all those things? So perhaps one day while you're taking your dog for a stroll, you start taking a mental list of the things that motivate you and that keep you running. And it's important that you make that list indeed. I still have the list on my phone that I started making in my second year of running. And in fact, it's quite interesting to look back at it because all of the things I have in there 4 years later are still valid. First point in my list is that it's a sport that is directly measurable, and that's actually very important for me at least. It's measurable in the sense that, well, you measure your time or your speed, or you can even measure your heart rate, and it's then very easy to keep track of that and see your progress in time. And because it's so very easily measurable, it's also very easy to set your next goal. Second point on my list is that running for me is a rather low frustration sport. I remember before running I used to play tennis, and I used to end up every match being super frustrated about all the external factors that come into play. I used to always say I would never play again, and then a week later, after making an effort to gather enough motivation, I would play again, and then the same story again. But running is not so much so. There are not so many external factors, and your results in running are pretty much correlated with how much training you put in. I mean, when you go for a run, you pretty much know what to expect. So as stupid as it sounds, I moved from tennis to running just to avoid the frustration. I never regret going out for a run, whether it's a short, easy run or a long run or a hard workout or intervals or whatever. When I get home, I always feel energized, I feel satisfied, I feel proud of myself. You with me on that one? I guess it might be the endorphins, but it's not just the endorphins. It's a sense of achievement, isn't it? Even if the run was very hard and you feel tired, your legs are destroyed and your toenails are shattered, it still feels good, doesn't it? Then there are some more rational reasons, like for example, running helps maintaining your muscle mass and combat sarcopenia, which is an issue as we age, which is the loss of muscle mass. Especially if you combine it with strength training. It helps improve our longevity. It acts as an antioxidant. You could say these things are also true with other sports, but I mean, in my case, it helped me lose 15 kilograms of body fat, improve my hearing loss quite a lot, to the point that I was wearing a hearing aid and I don't need it anymore. Also improved my tinnitus, this little whistling in my ear, which has almost disappeared. My cholesterol levels, blood sugar level, blood pressure, all that kind of things have greatly improved. Also the quality of my sleep, my resting heart rate is lowered. I even snore less, I think. So yeah, all sorts of physiological benefits. To finish with the physiological benefits, there is also the vitamin D, which we need after 50. You can get it from the food, but it's quite difficult. Or you typically get it from the sunlight. So if you manage to run like 3, 4, 5 times a week, even if it's not sunny, you get enough vitamin D. And talking about the sun, I've also found that running is actually good for my skin. I'm not sure why. I mean, I tend to have skin issues. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's directly the sun or it's indirectly because I run every day, so I have a shower every day, and then, well, you know, you get rid of all the bacteria on the skin and that kind of things. Not sure, but it seems to help. Now, of course, if it's sunny, you should protect yourself. Like I forgot today, it was very cloudy, and then all of a sudden the sun came out. I forgot my cap, so I'm gonna have to find a shade. So protect the skin, protect your eyes too. And then there are some perhaps more personal reasons, but I'm sure you can also relate to them. With, for example, in my case, running sort of gives me the margin and the freedom to eat more because I love food, I love trying new things. So if I run pretty much every day and I sort of burn around 1000 calories just in running, plus quite a bit of walking and so on, then well, I have quite a bit of margin for food, and that's important for me. Now that doesn't mean I eat junk food. I'll still try to eat very healthy. I take care of, I actually sort of more or less count the number of calories and the number of macronutrients in terms of proteins, carbohydrates and fat. I try to consume good fat, good protein. I try to have enough vitamin and minerals. So yeah, please don't use running as an excuse for binging on junk food. You know, the old saying that you cannot outrun a bad diet, but food that tastes good and that you like is absolutely not incompatible with healthy food. So in my case, what I do is I still eat very healthy, but just the fact that I run allows me to have more of the food I like. And then, of course, running is also a lonely sort of exercise. I mean, you're alone with your own thoughts and your brain. It's almost like a mindfulness session in a way. Actually, you can't even do that if you want. So it's basically time for yourself. It's time for you to think or not think, or just be in the present, in the moment. Just think about your breathing and your stride and nothing else. Or perhaps it's time for you to solve all the problems that you had during the day. That happened to me quite a few times. In general, I found that it's good for, you know, for mental health. It helps stabilizing things. It also helps reducing the stress. So yeah, all sorts of good mental reasons. And then, of course, we need to mention the sort of low cost of entry there is to running. I'm not talking about the money it costs. It could cost more or less, but rather the motivation and opportunity sort of cost. I mean, really, the only thing it takes to start running is to have about an hour of free time and then put your shoes on and get out the door. That's it. I mean, if you compare that to playing tennis, for instance, which I used to do, in terms of logistics, it's much more complicated. I mean, to play tennis, you have to book a court, you have to find someone to play with, you have to go there, you have to have good weather. I mean, you cannot play if it's raining. You probably have to be a member of a club, which is very expensive. And that's the case with many other sports. I mean, I don't know, if you like to play golf, it's kind of the same. And let's not talk about other sports like, I don't know, surfing or mountain climbing or boating or whatever, kayak, that requires moving to another place, a lot of equipment, good weather. Running, I mean, even if it's running, you can just get out of home and run. You don't depend on other people, you don't depend on other people's schedule. Football, for instance, yeah, you need to be part of a team, which is not easy to form part of a team, but then you also depend on the team. You need to go wherever the team goes. which is not the case with running. But it's not only that. When I say there is a low cost of entry to running, I'm also referring to the fact that basically everybody knows how to run. Everybody has been running when they were a kid, so you don't need to learn the special skill. Like I mean, you cannot start surfing from scratch. You got to learn, and it's not easy. You cannot play tennis from scratch. You're going to learn how to hit the ball and serve and so on, and golf, whatever. It requires some learning, some skills. But running, yeah, you need to learn, but somehow everybody knows how to at least start running, start practicing and enjoying the sport. All right, then on my third year of running, I started racing. I first gave it a go just to see what it was, and then liked it. So that was...
If you want to film, you have to stop outside. It's not allowed to.
Here? Okay. So it was an extra motivation for me. But then what happened is that I started to travel to other places, to go to specific races. And of course I like traveling, I like exploring places, I like discovering cultures and so on. I like trying new food. So I discovered that running is an excuse for me an excuse or a pretext for me to travel. In fact, not only to travel, but also in my local area, it's a way for me to discover places where I would never have gone if it was not running. In fact, this is part of the purpose of this channel, which is to show you how to combine traveling with running and sort of discovering new places and make you appreciate the sport of running. Then a year later I came to realize that really progress in terms of running is going to be very slow. Of course at the beginning your progress is fast, but after 2 or 3 years not so much anymore. So at this point you need to start apprehending the sport as a long-term activity. And that's actually good when you think about your motivation and a real reason why you do something, to think about it in the long run, pun intended. So I started to set for myself long-term goals, like the races I wanted to race, more generic things. I started to think about it more in terms of the process of how to progress and try to really understand how to run and how to make progress, especially as we age. Well, you know, age is playing against us. So yeah, I'm making an effort to improve my technique and really understand the mechanics of it and how it works, rather than outcome-oriented goals. And in my 6th year of running, it's even gotten me to where I am today, filming YouTube videos, which is something I would have never thought I would do. And YouTube videos are also a personal challenge for me in many ways. So they're actually part of the motivational package. Although I'm basically still learning, but it's cool. Anyway, all these reasons, I don't want to say mojo at this point, are still totally valid. But those that are about the physiological and mental benefits of running are pretty much achieved by now. So it becomes more a matter of maintaining those benefits and not rolling back to where I was 6 years ago. So they've become more passive than active motivation drivers, if I may say so. So I feel that all the points I've made so far are certainly sufficient to keep me on, but somehow I need something that's more profound, a deeper and more intrinsic motivation. I need a running why that is not so superficial and benefits oriented. Do you feel the same?
And get to be strong, my feet headlong. One got the whiskey gonna ease my pain.
And my bet is that it's gonna be something along the line of, it makes me feel good, but you know, feel good intrinsically, really feel good, if that makes any sense. Yeah, a sense of plenitude and accomplishment at a deeper level. It's like I found who I am or who I want to be, and traveling is part of it. So I'm a running traveler or a traveling runner, not sure which one, with everything that goes with it. You know, it's sort of a lifestyle. But still, I don't have a definitive answer to the question, why So it remains somewhat of an open question. I would really appreciate your feedback on that. Have you gone through the same journey? Why do you run? No, but why do you really run?